So in a previous video, we talked about Master Chief possibly dying in Halo Infinite. I gave the main reason why I think he would and a couple of counter arguments of why he wouldn't, but I didn't do a good job of explaining it. So today we're going to talk about why not only Master Chief will not die in Halo Infinite, but why he is going to be 100% the main character in Halo Infinite. Let's jump into it. Hey everyone, my name is Tyler, aka Spartan Snyder. Let's go ahead and jump right into our topic today, which is Master Chief not dying in Halo Infinite and becoming the main character. Now I say the main character part because in Halo 5 it actually suffered from an identity crisis of who is the main character. We spent a fairly equal amount of time playing as Locke and Master Chief, but there wasn't a clear-cut set main character. It was kind of like plays him, plays Chief, plays Locke, plays Chief, plays Locke, and the stories were kind of like meshed together. It didn't work for the most part. It pushed the story along and has moved us into the new era of Halo, but it didn't really work. 343 has said that they are going to make sure 100% that Master Chief is seen as the primary character in Halo Infinite. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He is going to be the primary character, so that is phenomenal. Which lends to the fact that they're not going to kill him off. Why would they kill the main character of their game off? Not only a character that has built so much hype for the franchise for the last 20 years, but a character that is loved by basically everyone. It doesn't make sense for them to kill the main character off in the height of his entire lifespan. And lifespan is another reason why he won't die in Halo Infinite as well. If you remember back to Halo 4, for those of you that have played all the way through, you'll remember this scene right here, where the librarian actually unlocks Master Chief's imprint. Now, this imprint is specific because it is the imprint of the Didact, the same Didact that we fight in Halo 4. This is a special imprint because not only does it extend Master Chief's lifespan, because it's a Forerunner imprint, and it unlocks several genetic modifications to Master Chief, but it also makes him immune to several Forerunner weapons, the composer name of one. The other thing you have to remember is that the Spartans, they are genetically modified super soldiers. Master Chief was taken at an age of 6, trained for several years, given biological and cognitive, so this is muscular, skeletal, and cognitive enhancements that make him the super soldier that he is today. And the effects of those long term are unknown. It's possible he can go completely insane and go off the rails, which is kind of a little bit of the story that we've been getting. He's kind of gone a little bit out of character from Halo 1 and Halo 2 and Halo 3 and has been doing his own thing. It's also possible that because of the enhancements, his lifespan is lengthened significantly and he can now live and fight much longer than a traditional soldier. I mean, a lot of people don't necessarily know this, but Sergeant Johnson was actually one of the first Spartans. He was a Spartan 1, and although the experimentation failed, it did give him a genetic immunity which made him immune to the Floods. A little known fact a lot of people don't realize, but he was a Spartan 1 and the genetic modifications made him immune to the Flood, and they increased his lifespan and they increased his strength and his cognitive ability. That's why he was as good as he was in Halo 1, Halo 2, and Halo 3. Now, getting back to Master Chief, it's basically impossible for them to kill him off. I don't know what to say it is that if they kill him off, not only are they basically killing the entire Halo franchise because it was founded on Master Chief. I mean, even going back to Halo 1 was released before Halo Reach, and going back to Halo Reach, he was even a influential part of Halo Reach. The whole goal of Halo Reach was getting Cortana to the Pillar of Autumn so the Pillar of Autumn could escape with Master Chief and Cortana on it. And then that leads into Halo 1. So he's had an influence of the entire game franchise. And Halo 3 ODST, he had an influence because the events of Halo 3 ODST take place at the same time that Halo 3 is taking place. Without Halo 3 ODST would not have existed. So Master Chief has had an unmistakable influence on the entire Halo franchise, and to kill him off would basically ruin the entire game. Now, some credit given to this of how he may not continue is that this is the last Halo game for the next 10 years. What we need to find out is whether or not this is the last Halo game ever made, or if it's just 343's last game for now. So I've talked about it in previous videos. I believe that what they're going to do is every year or so give us an expansion of the entire ring. So we have a small section to work with now. They're going to expand it so we get another section, another section, another section. So it keeps going all the way around the ring. It's possible as well that if this ring is near a planet, they can give us options to leave the ring and go to the planet. So that way we can have excursions, I guess is the way I'm trying to say it. I don't know. It's up in the air of how they're actually going to keep the franchise alive for the next few years. But yeah, getting back to Master Chief, it's unlikely that they're going to kill him off. It seems that from the promotional content that we got, he's kind of pulled himself back together, and from what we can tell based on the date that was given in the 8-minute gameplay demo, this takes place several years after the event of Halo 4, so it's highly likely that he has fixed his mentality, because the events from Halo 4 definitely shocked him and left him feeling, I guess, lonely, which is why he went after Cortana in Halo 5. And while it takes place several years later and there's really not much material, at least no books or comics that I've seen thus far that kind of tell us what happens between Halo 5 and Halo Infinite, it seems like his mentality is definitely improved, and then he's back to being that traditional soldier, which is what 343 is going for. Remember, they said that this is supposed to be a classical reboot, and if you remember from the last video we did with the update, this is supposed to be a classic Halo 1, Halo 2 game with just a little bit of modernization. This is, as Joe Statham put it, the Halo game that they were trying to make in 2000 but were limited by due to technological advancements. But thanks to the graphics processing that we have nowadays, they can make the game that we want. Thanks to the game engines that they can create and the new slipspace game engine that they specifically wrote for Halo Infinite, they can make the game that Halo was always supposed to be. And this, I think, is the biggest argument for why Master Chief is going to be sticking around for longer. Not only are they starting to experiment with what they can do with Halo, with what they've always wanted to do with Halo, but they now have the freedom to create anything they want with Master Chief and Halo. And who knows, maybe that video I talked about where we discussed the possibility of him getting a new AI kind of helps him through the process of losing Cortana and moving on. So Master Chief hasn't suffered a lot of loss, and losing a pivotal companion like Cortana definitely did a number on him. And if you've read the books, losing a companion like Sam, it did a number on him as well. So I don't know. What do you think? Leave a comment. Let me know. I like reading them. Subscribe if you want. Hit that like button if it's something you're into. And I hope to see you in the next one, Spartans.